My boyfriend dumped me on my birthday. He didn't even show up. He sent his brother with a phone. The brother hit play on a voice message in front of 50+ guests. I'm not coming. I've been using you for your money this whole time. Your daddy's credit cards were the only thing that made touching you bearable, but he cut you off last month, so you're worthless to me now. 4 years of pretending to love you was torture. His brother just shrugged and said he told me to make sure everyone heard it. I said nothing and left. He'd already told his entire family I'd been cheating on him with multiple men, turning them all against me before I even knew we were over. That was 6 weeks ago. Yesterday, he was camping outside my house, crying and begging security to let him see me. Please answer me. I'm sorry, I need you, please. Clark and I had been together 4 years when my dad stopped sending my monthly allowance last March. No explanation, just silence when I called. Clark noticed immediately when our life shifted from comfortable to scraping by. We'd lived in a downtown apartment I covered with dad's transfers. Clark chipped in from his retail job. We ate out twice a week, took weekend trips, never worried about money. When the allowance stopped, everything changed. I picked up extra hours and burned savings to keep us afloat. Clark adjusted fast, no pricey restaurants, canceled the gym, scrutinized every grocery item. I thought he was being practical. Then he went distant. Late nights without explanation. One-word answers. Constant mentions of his coworker Avery, her new car, her vacations, her ambition. By October, we barely spoke unless it was about bills. For my November birthday, I suggested we revisit the restaurant from our first date. We can't afford celebrations, he said. I worked extra shifts to pay for it myself. Saturday night, I waited 20 minutes past our reservation. Clark was never late for anything important. His brother Thomas walked in, set a phone on the table, and hit play. Clark's voice filled the room. I'm not coming. I've been using you for your money. Your dad cut you off, so there's no point. 4 years of pretending to love you was exhausting. I'm with someone worth my time now. He went on about how pathetic I'd become without family money, bragging he'd been seeing Avery for months and moving in with her. Servers froze. An elderly couple stared. Thomas shrugged. He said make sure everyone heard it. I walked out. Clark had never asked the only question that mattered, why the allowance had stopped. He just assumed I'd messed up. 3 days later, Dad called. Time you knew the truth. I didn't stop because of money. It was a test to see how Clark treated you when things got tough. My parents had suspected his motives and documented his behavior during the test. The results were worse than they imagined. We never tested his love, Dad said. We tested his character, and he failed spectacularly. Clark's family started calling me a cheater, lies, Clark said them. My parents invited them all to dinner. Dad laid out bank statements showing I'd paid most expenses. Recent photos of us happy until the money stopped, and texts where Clark never once accused me of cheating. Then came the bomb. Instagram DMs between Clark and Avery, heart emojis. Inside jokes, plans to meet up while he still lived with me. He'd even written that he needed to make sure I looked like the bad guy before leaving. Clark's sister Melanie cried. I can't believe my brother planned something so cruel. His grandmother shook her head. This isn't the boy I raised. When Dad played recordings of Clark trashing me and praising Avery, their faces fell. Thomas, Clark's father, stood up. I won't support someone with such terrible character. He kicked Clark out of his apartment and took back the car he'd been helping pay for. Within 24 hours, Clark went from a nice apartment and reliable transportation to couch hopping. Too proud to tell Avery, he scrambled for excuses about why she couldn't see his place or meet his family. Avery grew suspicious and called me. I told her everything the restaurant ambushed, the lies to his family, months of contempt once he thought the money was gone. I sent screenshots of his DMs. She broke up with him the next day. Now Clark is hiding in cheap hotels, burning what little savings he has while his family refuses to answer calls. He rang me, sobbing that he'd made mistakes, but wasn't a bad person. The test showed exactly who you are, I said. You abandoned someone you claimed to love the second it was convenient. He still doesn't know about the inheritance Dad mentioned during the test. He threw away a relationship with someone whose family could have set him up for life for someone with a slightly better salary. My parents restarted the allowance not because I need it, but to remind me that people who love you don't vanish when things get hard. Clark learned that the hard way.